do another part, but probably not tonight.
I'm
Um,
camera shy.
you, I have proof that you're not camera shy.
I'm camera shy still.
Okay.
But,
So how you feel about that barber side and stuff back there?
hmm?
You was lost for play for real.
Both. Cause
Okay.
like when we did it, never really like I had my stuff at the booth, but I never really we had the thing with the barber side already in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
And I appreciate your honesty. So in this space, let's set the record straight. This is a space where truth, communication, honesty, um, listening is important. So we one in the same. This is a judgment free zone. My job is to make sure that you go in and pass state board. So as we proceed, it's gonna get tighter and tighter because my goal I want you to feel like you already in state board. So I'm gonna start where everyone is supposed to start, which is with the National Barber Style and Practical Examination, the CIB. That's the Candidate Information Bulletin. I already know we hear stuff. We can be in an environment. It can go in one ear, out the other ear. So, that's why this. Oh, and that need to be silenced.
I gotta take this last
No,
one.
that's fine.
Yo. All right, go ahead. Just take 40 out of there and then lock everything.
Okay, I got it.
All right, appreciate it.
And
So
then
my
put it on.
business was still open, so now we close.
Okay.
Turn it off. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I understand. My goal is to make sure that you get more than what's expected because I know what's needed. So again, the CIB is what you already supposed to know. You technically supposed to read over it. I read out loud because I wanted to stick, with my students or students that come from other people. So the National Interstate Council of State Board of the State Boards of Cosmetology, which is the NIC. These are questions that you probably saw because you said you already passed your theory anyway. But these are questions, so I still go ahead and read it. This was effective June 1st of 2025. It was revised September 1st of 2025. Also, while I'm about to read this, they plan on merging the boards officially for our states. Some states already got barber and cosmetology boards merged, but I'm just throwing that out there because that's ultimately what I'm creating a space for us to stay updated on what's going on, what's coming down the pipeline, what part of the conversation we should have that may affect our credentials. So the examination content and important instructions, please visit your official provider website or the NIC testing .org for the most current bulletin prior to testing. Which is why we went ahead and scheduled. This is your prior to testing bulletin. I've already visited, so you're getting the most current updated information today. The National Barber Style and Practical Examination is a licensure examination for barber styling developed by the National Interstate Council of State Boards of Cosmetology, which is the NIC. This bulletin contains important information regarding National Barber Styling Practical Examination content and administration for core services and additional sections and references. Please review all information carefully for each NIC practical examination. There are multiple parts to every candidate information bulletin, which is the CIB. Important instructions and examination content, domain sections. This provides information and guidelines related to administration of the practical examination and information about the scope of the content covered in the core sections of the practical examination. Additional services. These provide information about additional sections offered by the NIC for examination. Check with your state regulation agency or examination administration vendor, which the new vendor for the state of South Carolina is the PROV, PROV. No longer PSI. To determine which of these sections your state requires as a part of their practical examination, because it varies state to state. References. This provides a list of references used to develop and support the content covered in the NIC examination. References will be the same for theory, practical, written practical, and additional sections for each exam. Be certain to review all parts of this NIC NIC examination, CIB, carefully. Important instructions. General. The NIC practical examinations are designed to assess candidates' ability to perform the tasks expected to be performed while working as a licensed professional. The tasks a candidate will be asked to perform are those that are frequently occur on the job and that are important to safe and proficient performance. Keyword, safe and proficient. That is why we started the way we started. That is why you have your stuff that needed to be disinfected back there being disinfected, because that's the test. Safety and really sanitation. Performance. Though the tasks are performed in a artificial testing session, efforts are made to make the task seem realistic and to closely mimic actual conditions. Candidates are expected to conduct themselves as if they were performing these tasks in an actual scenario. Do not leave the examination area without permission. Permission must be obtained to leave the examination area for any reason, including restroom usage or at the completion of the examination. Picture ID is required for re-entry into the examination. All examinations are administered in a testing environment. Candidates are evaluated at all times. All times mean the moment you pull into their parking lot. That's how I train. Continue working until the entire and pull out. Continue working until the entire section is completed or time has lapsed. That's important. Continue working until time has completed or time has lapsed. When the time lapsed, which it will be stated as we go further down, stop. Supplies. Candidates are required to bring a supply kit for their own use. Nobody has anything for you once you arrive there. They're going to tell you to do as you was taught. It is the candidate's responsibility to make certain that they have sufficient quality of supplies that have been properly cleaned and disinfected and that implements are properly in working order. We're going to clean these next. You're going to wipe them off. I'm going to check them to my satisfaction and wear the cords for them.
I got one of them.
Yes. I don't know if they're planning to allow y'all to start going in uncorded. I train corded. That don't mean it got to be plugged in, but it need to be able to hold to the clipper. We don't need this. You will clean both. You only need the clipper. You don't need the outliner.
You said you don't need the clipper?
You don't need the outliner.
Oh, okay.
But you're going to clean both.
Yeah.
Okay. The kit will be used. Hold on. The kit will be used during the examination as dry storage. Meaning your black bag is your dry storage. That is your storage. That's where everything that is clean will come out of. Once it come out, as going to be stated, it do not enter back in till it's time to go. And it's considered a part of your work area. The kit must be kept closed except when removing material for a particular service. Candidates may remove items, supplies, etc. from the kit at any time. However, nothing may be returned to the kit. EPA registered disinfectant wipes that demonstrate bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal properties must be used. Disinfectants or aerosol sprays are not allowed in the testing. That's not allowed. These cans, the barbicide spray for those cans, that's not allowed. Where are your disinfectant wipes at?
Right here.
No, this is what you need. This one. Okay. That is cool, but that's not for Stateboard. They want to see this. All right. But tonight you can use that when you clean up right there and when we go out there. Because we'll probably get to, I'm going to welcome you in and then let you set up. That's probably what we'll end up just doing, getting the floor of that. Where we at? Kit will be used on, okay. Candidates may remove items. Okay, anytime I read that, disinfected. Okay, all products must be labeled in English. When an original product label, okay, when an original manufacturer label is required, there can be no handwritten or any other type of label. Original manufacturer labels must have English and may also include other languages. All non-manufacturer created labels must only be in English, meaning like how you got this in English. But hand sanitizer and certain things, it'll be the real thing. Even alcohol can be labeled, and it can be marked as water, but your hand sanitizer, it gotta be real.
That's the one I use.
Let me see. Yes, real hand sanitizer. I'm actually going to probably send you in with one that's a pump, because all that touching, you want to just pump it and go, not have to pick it up, put it down, and all of that. Because again, sanitation is what they're looking for. No labels indicating order of use when performing the services. Okay. Let me go back and read. Labels must have English and may also include other language. All non-manufactured created labels must only be in English. No labels indicating order of use when performing the service are allowed, meaning no cheating. You don't get to write on there to tell you what to do. Original manufacturers labels are required for all disinfectants and hand sanitizers. Stimulated products are not allowed for disinfectants and hand sanitizers. Candidates are to perform all tasks utilizing products and supplies as they were taught. There is, however, a section titled Suggested Examination Supplies provided for each section of the examination. Suggested supplies can be found after the content domain section of this bulletin. Standardized administration. Due to the standardization of the NIC national examination, proctors and examiners are required to adhere to the following standards. All practical examinations are administered in English. The verbal instructions will be read twice for each section of the examination, with the exception of the verbal instructions for an emergency situation. The proctors and or the examination administration personnel are not allowed to communicate with other testing candidates. Side note, if you see somebody you know act like you do not know them, you never saw them, because you will have to reschedule your test. Like if you go into that setting, and I'm just saying, you don't know nobody. Well, I don't know you.
I don't think I had the same people.
Yeah, they may or may not, but just to go in tunnel vision to get what you done paid for. Candidates requesting information during the examination will be told one of the following statements. Do the best you can with what you have available. Do as you were taught. What does that mean? Oh man, I forgot my hand sanitizer, or I forgot my razor or my clippers, right? Now you got imaginary hand sanitizer. God forbid you don't really have it. Right. You got imaginary clippers. God forbid you don't got that. And you got imaginary razor. Right. What happens is they want to see, do you know what you've been doing? In that moment, you're an adult with a childlike mind to pass this test to see if they are going to be impressed by you moving through the skill. Because if you know it, you know it. It don't matter if you're acting like it with a pencil or a comb at the end of the day. Because things happen. If the candidate experienced an emergency situation, they may notify the proctor by raising their hand. Candidates will be given a time to set up universal, also known as general supplies, which you will have your general supplies in that container that I gave you to be disinfected, because it just fits better. Your stuff is laid out. You can pull from there better. If a candidate, okay, hold on. All right. Each section of the examination has a maximum time allowance, with the exception of those specified as untimed sections. Once a candidate has completed all tasks in the section, they need to step back to indicate they have finished. In the event that all candidates have completed a section before the time has lapsed, the examiner will proceed to the next section of the examination. When the timer goes off, all candidates must stop working and step back immediately. I will tell you this. Normally, I'll see how you do and then correct you, but I'm going to tell you now. If you finish before the time stop, meaning it could be a whole nother 5-10 minutes or whatever, you do not want to get fidgety in the testing environment. Meaning you touching stuff, you're doing stuff, done took yourself in la la land just because you trying to be the first one. No. Take your time, you got the time. But if you finish before everybody else, to reset yourself, you sanitizing your hands. Just cause I practice just a little at ease kind of stance. Like you just post it up. Or, post it up. If you come out of that stance for whatever reason, go into hand sanitizer. It go back into the stance. Because it happens and you can lose points. Just because you done finished that section, now you losing points because you doing too much unsanitary stuff. Right. Prohibited items. The following provided examples of materials and actions that are prohibited in the examination room during the examination. Administration. Okay. Possession of cell phones, watches of any kind, pagers, tablets, computers, projectors, cameras, or any electronic or recording device, printed materials, or handwritten notes, purses, bags, coats, hats, and any other personal items that do not directly involve completing this examination are not allowed. Communicate with other candidates or any examiner, not allowed. Exhibiting disruptive behavior. The above reference items and actions are not an exhausted list. Failure to comply with any of these conditions or exhibit any of the behavior suggested in an effort to cheat will result in immediate dismissal from the examination, and candidates' actions will be reported to proper authority. Don't go in there with nothing. You're not going to go in there with no jewelry on, no nothing in your pockets, nothing, no pen, no nothing but your bag, your kit. I don't even think you can wear a hat. I would say all black, no labels on nothing, just black out. Safety, lock your stuff up in your car and it'll be there. Safety during all phases of the examination. Candidates must follow all appropriate public protection and infection control procedures and maintain a safe work area. In the event of a blood exposure incident, candidates will be expected to follow the proper blood exposure procedure, which is one of the core 9 domains. Failure to do so may result in immediate dismissal of the examination, meaning if you mess around and cut your own self and you bleed and you don't know how to stop it, you getting kicked out. Failure to contact the examination provider or state to obtain the most current version of an addendum of the blood exposure procedure. Oh, no. Be sure. I'm sorry. It says be sure to contact the examination provider or state to obtain the most current version of any addendum to the blood exposure procedure. If a candidate does not follow the infection control procedures or allow the work area to become and remain unsafe, the result may be a failing score of the examination and could result in removal from the testing area. If infection control procedures not being followed, your work area is too cluttered, it's unsafe, that could kick you out of the examination. If the candidate experience any unsafe conditions, they need to address it immediately. And they put that in there because that is the direct way some barber stations really look. Just unsafe, unkept, not reset after every client. So I want to encourage you to do that. NIC model or mannequin requires, please refer to your state guidelines for model and mannequin requirements. If your state requires that you use mannequin heads, candidates who are required to use mannequin heads are responsible for coming prepared for the examination. Mannequin heads that are pre-marked for the services or pre-sections are not allowed for any part of the practical exam. Mannequin heads must be a full-size mannequin head. Junior mannequin heads are not permitted. Like a little Bratz doll that somebody done bought for their child for their birthday or Christmas, that's not permitted. Just for an example, these are full-size heads. She's a smaller head, but this is still considered an adult head doll. See how the head, this one got a bigger head than this one, but this one still it'll work. Mannequins must be approved by the examination or state vendor prior to admitting into the examination. So you do need a male. We don't have much extra one, but a male like any one of these. Oh,
I think this one is a male.
but he not the right hair.
Oh, true.
You're gonna use them for, you can use them for practice or
So
whatever.
that's human hair.
Yeah,
That's
this is
might be
human.
why I failed too. I'm doing
This
these.
is human hair. This is not the best cut. These pass though, just like you were saying. These have all been into.
They must.
If I had your report, then I could really tell you what it
yeah.
is. But since we don't have it, I can't help you right there. Special attention. The following information is vital and specific to the NIC National Barber Style and Practical Examination. Oh, so also with her, what we will do, I'm gonna have you shampoo this mannequin. I'm just giving you things that you're gonna shampoo her. We'll probably do a little trim on her maybe, just so you can be familiar with her. We'll do your perm rods. We'll practice your sections on this. Once we get finished with her, we're gonna, rinse her on out, let her dry, towel her up, and you'll see her when it's time for testing. We want to make sure she good and dry, because she just came fresh out. Never take a fresh out mannequin straight into the examination, because you have not gotten familiar with that mannequin. Where I'm at. Okay, now this is special attention. The following information is vital and specific to the NIC National Barber Style and Practical Examination. Candidates will be evaluated on proper destination of material that are disposed. Candidates are required to bring the use of the following supplies for the appropriate disposal materials. Container labeled to be disinfected. Let me see your bag. Please, sir. All items came from out of this. Bags are easier to set next to your workstation, and you drop them where they need to go when they need to go there. Okay, that's why I had did the little extra. Go ahead, put it in there. Put it in there, cause that's what it's about. Just put it where it need to go. If a comb or anything dropped in the midst of, put it to be disinfected. Hand sanitize, get another one, proceed. The following appropriate disposal to be disinfected: soil linen, which contain, and then trash. So those are the three: to be disinfected, soil linen, trash. The only reason this bag don't have a coverage is because your to be disinfected one don't have a coverage is because it's Stateboard. Really, anything that needs to be disinfected always supposed to be covered.
Gotcha.
It is specific. It is specified that there is more than one client represented for the purposes of this examination. A new client is introduced and must be prepared during the course of the examination. See the barber style and examination content domain section, which we will go over next. Candidates are Candidates are expected to brace anytime they are working around the eye and the mouth area. Brace meaning when you're going in for the shaving, you should have a steady bracing and footing about yourself. We'll go over that. That's your ergonomics and stuff you should have already done, learned, got familiar with, but I'll be watching for that. Anytime you're around the mouth and the eyes, candidates are not allowed to label products as single-use items. Like you're not going to label wrap script a wrap script. It's going to be in the box and you're going to pull from it, but you're not going to label it wrap scripts. You're not going to label paper towel. You should be able to identify that. Gloves ain't going to have gloves on it. That's what that means. A straight razor must be used. Check your state examination for the razor blade on a live or mannequin required. Oh, with South Carolina, it's mannequin only. We don't do live models. They been outlawed that. I don't know if it was when COVID. If I'm not mistaken, once COVID hit, it was done, or either it got done a little bit before that. But it's no live models. It's only mannequins. When I got my license, I did have a live model though. So, cause that meaning it could have been 2 people could have been bleeding. So yeah, narrow it down. Don't cut yourself. In the accordance with the manufacturer's guidelines, gloves must be worn during disinfection process. In the event, I know some people like to wear gloves throughout the whole thing. You change the gloves like if you were sanitizing at the end of the day. And even when you're taking off the gloves, want to put on another one, you would remove the gloves properly. This proper glove remover here. You would dispose of them. Even if you want to re-glove up, hand sanitize, re-glove up. Don't go to touching things like people do when we go through the drive-thru and they think they right because they got on a pair of gloves, they pass some money. It's still dirty. Now we don't touch everybody that's dirt. That's not as sanitary as we supposed to be. And people do it. I see it all day long. Boom, 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 boom. Where we at? Check with your state. Yep. Okay. So now barber style and practical examination content outline. Core domain sections. The scope of the National Barber Style and Practical Examination includes 9 core domain sections. The core domain sections are based on the National Job Analysis. 1, which is the first section, work area and client preparation and setup of supplies. Work area, when you get there, prep for the client, set up for supplies. That's the first grade. Most people don't really fail because they couldn't get one right.
That one I did. I remember that. That one I got, and I know I got the blood exposed. I think I got all 5 points for that too.
Okay. Awesome. Haircutting is the second section to this 9 domain situation. Haircutting. The third one is work area and new client and setup of supplies. They tweaked it a little bit, but right after that, that's when you're going into shaving, because the draping for shaving is different for haircutting. Okay, so that's the 4th. Shaving is the 4th domain section. Shaving with a straight razor. Number 5 is the blood exposure procedure. And after the blood exposure procedure, you will set up for second client. Haircutting setup, new client preparation, but you still resetting. So it's seemingly like 3 setups going on because you're about to pull out that long hair mannequin. The first 2 is going on that first mannequin. This mannequin will get cut and shaved. But when you get ready to shave, you done reset for that client.
See, I don't think I did that.
After that, you would do the blood exposure procedure. Then you gonna reset. After blood exposure, you about to reset, pull out another mannequin. These mannequins can go in to be disinfected as you're cleaning out. They don't go back into your dry storage. Permanent waving. What kind of cape you draping with? Permanent waving.
The web. Okay.
Absolutely. How you drape permanent waving?
What you mean? How?
You tell me if you don't know.
Towel?
Towel what?
I don't don't remember. I did it right.
That's
though.
fine.
I don't recall. It was
Towel cape towel. Permanent waving. Chemical service.
How you say?
Towel cape towel.
So yeah, because you have to like
Under cape.
over. I
Yes.
forgot how I did it, but
It's
I know,
cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I just want to know. This was just engagement. Then we go on number 7, the 7 domain, predisposition test and strand test with stimulated colored product. When you testing the strand. Well, you'll have videos, predisposition, do the strand test with your stimulated product. Yeah.
I think for that is what I used the 4 for, but then took it off.
Yeah, and you don't need 4. Barbers don't need 4. Cosmetologists need 4. We don't. The 8th domain, chemical relaxer, virgin application. 9th domain, and the final one, hair color retouch application. It's important to know which application you're doing because one looks different from the other. We'll also do a color, opposite colors for the stimulating product. So you get to pick a color, whatever you want to do with that. And it's also opposite quadrants. But those are the 9 core outline sections in the practical exam. And you need to not lose as many points in each section based upon how they give it to you. Like I said, I don't know. Let me see. I think I got one where I can see. Well, it might change up since we with another company.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, man.
But it's okay.
Because I got, the first time I failed, because I studied the video to the T, and when it went different than what happened in the video, I just went like blank.
Yeah.
Threw me for a total loop.
Oh, it don't say out of
I
how
wasn't
many.
prepared.
It don't say out of how many. Some people don't say out of how many. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it don't say out of how many. I thought it was going to say. It only got how many she missed. It don't say how many they score you on. But it's okay. All right. Domain details. The following outline the scope of content covered by the NIC National Barber Styling Practical Examination. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. Please go to your assigned station and do nothing until instructed by proctor. This is important. This is what we will go into a live scenarios of this, but I'm just going over it so you can get it in your system. Work area and client preparation and setup of supplies. Work area and client preparation and setup of supplies, 10 minutes. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will prepare your work area for your client. You will set up the universal supplies you will use throughout the examination. You will also set up the supplies for the haircutting section of the examination. You will prepare your client for services. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until the verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will prepare your work area for your client. You will set up the universal supplies. You will use throughout the examination. You will also set up the supplies for the haircutting section of the examination. You will prepare your client for service. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedures until verbal instructions instructions are given and you are instructed to begin, you may begin. I'm gonna say something right now just based upon peripheral, right? You see, you notice you each time you do it, sanitize. It's cool because it's gonna happen. So as we moving forward, just sanitize. You can sit that down, whatever you want to do, but I want you to get ready to sanitize because each time I know I saw you move about 5 times. So each time you did something, just sanitize. Each time, sanitize. Just make it so you can get a habit of it. And then you may begin. Now I'm going to read what the candidate will be evaluated on as I'm reading. If you do the same thing what you just did, now I want you to, because I done made you aware, go into sanitation mode. Because each time you did that, you'll lose points. If you didn't sanitize. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Disinfects all work areas completely with product labeled with manufacturer's label in English as an EPA registered disinfectant. That is, so the difference is, and that one, let me see what this thing is saying.
I think this one was good though, but
Let me see, do it say it? Yeah, we don't got time to play with these. It says specifically bactericidal, fungicidal, virucidal. It's right here. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's labeled. This is really what they want. This is our stuff.
gotcha.
So, and that's the first thing they check in. Disinfects all work area completely with a product that is labeled with the manufacturer's label in English as an EPA registered disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal. Do not lose a point off of buying the right thing. It don't even matter if this was empty with water in it and paper towels you pulling out of it. To the eye, you have what they said. This one you gotta know. Give them people what they want so you can pass the test. Next, sanitize hands with product with the manufacturer's label in English. They checking to see if you sanitizing them hands. Sets up supplies for client number 1. The first client is your haircutting client. That means all of the things that go with haircutting will be pulled out of that haircutting bag. You already got that out. You getting ready to set it up. Boom. Places items to be disinfected, soil linens, and trash in correct container throughout sections. The only thing you done pretty much pulled out at that point is your barbicide wipes because you use that to clean them when you finish with the wipe. Where do a wipe go?
And trash.
In the trash. Not in to be disinfected, no way else but in the trash. Those are the 4 things they checking for. Off top. If you got those right, and it shouldn't take 10 minutes to do it, that's give or take, could be a 5-minute situation. Those 5 minutes you don't want to take doing all this and that, and then you ain't making sure every time you do it, sanitize. It don't matter that you did it. Make sure you sanitize. That's your default button. It don't matter if the bottle empty by the time the test is over. Who cares? You're a clean barber. That's what you want them to know. Proctor, verbal instructions read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they have completed the section before the time has lapsed. If everybody has finished before those 10 minutes is up, the proctor will read all candidates have indicated they have completed the section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor, verbal instructions read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back, please stop working. When they say stop, just stop. It doesn't matter if you haven't finished setting up, you'll catch it on the next round. Just stop, because you'll lose points like that as well. Section 2, that's all of section 1 right there. Section 2, haircutting, 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Proctor, verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will prepare your client for services. You will perform a scalp analysis. What is a scalp analysis? I'm
Checking
listening.
the scalp.
Checking the scalp.
I I just did it though.
Yeah, I saw you. That's right. Checking the scalp. You're gonna pick up a comb, part through the middle. You're analyzing the scalp.
And I think that's what I didn't do, and it was wild because after I didn't do it and I started cutting, I stopped and I was like, I forgot to do that.
That's all you're doing. Checking the scalp. You want to have a habit of that. Why? Because everything is about safety and sanitation. Why would you go and dig in their head? They could have wingworms. They could have this, that, and the other. You check it. They could have lice. If you done start moving around, now you done shut the whole shop down for the day. If we operate like we're supposed to operate.
Right.
And some people not. And spreading. And becoming a CDC situation. Okay? So that's all they checking to see if you're going to perform that. You will perform a tapered haircut with no block line at the nape. Where's the nape? Here. Of course, you can't take this out of the mannequin, but you're going to unblock it. Acting like you unblock it. Who cares? That's what they're checking for. You will demonstrate a clipper cut with and without a guard. Okay, all your guards is back there. After we do 2, we can actually pull that stuff out the barber side and rinse it off too. It's only supposed to be in 10 minutes. With and without guards with detachable blades. Or use the clippers with detachable blades. You going in with guards. With and without guards. Demonstrate clipper cutting with and without guards or clippers with detachable blades. You will demonstrate the use of shear over comb. Did you have shears in there? Okay, I didn't see it. You will demonstrate fingers and shear cutting. You will be expected to complete and blend the haircut. This was nice because she's actually a cosmetologist that crossed over. It's no secret that barbers sometimes struggle with the shears. This is you're trying to go for a clean cut. Visualize it, execute it. You're not being graded on $100 cut in Stateboard. So if it's not the best, cool, but make it the best you can because we're visual. Demonstrate shear of a comb, demonstrate fingers and shear cutting. You will be expected to complete the blend of the haircut. Expected to complete it mean complete it the best way you need to complete it so it can be like they want it to look at the end. You will also be expected to shave both sides of the neck with the straight razor. One side will be the reverse backhand. The other side will be the regular. That's the only time that we use it according to the book and according to the 14 strokes. And just when you're learning your strokes, is on the back of the neck. It's not on the front of the face in the shaving. You will also be expected, okay, you will cut at least half an inch of hair throughout the whole cut. Meaning, like this, I would go for like who can I think of? A Lamont version. Fred Sanford son on straight hair. A Lamont length version of the hair, at least on the head. Why? Because it said you would cut at least a half an inch of hair. So if you think about Lamont Fro, if it was straightened, that's more than enough to give you room to let them people know I know how to take off a half an inch of hair. When an inch ain't up about this. I know how to get this off. So it's no confusion that I actually cut something. Got hair on the floor. That's what they're saying. There's no need to go in there to cut all this off for a haircut. That's too much hair. You'll be expected to, and normally when you buy a new one, we practice with shear work to just get it cut down prior to going in. That's what we normally do. You'll be expected to complete the blend of the haircut. You will also be expected to shave both sides of the neck with a straight razor. You will cut at least a half an inch of hair throughout the haircut. Do not remove your hair clippings from your work area until you are instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Meaning they're gonna walk the room. It don't matter how many of y'all in there, whether it's 2, 4, 10, whatever. They'll come to you and say, they'll check your haircut typically, unless they don't remove that out, and we'll see. And then they'll tell you to clean up. They should have a broom or something around in the trash can in there. If they don't let you use their trash can, then you will put it in your trash can. Which go use your trash can first, just their broom typically. You will have 40 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 20 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will prepare your client for service. You will perform a scalp analysis. You will perform a taper haircut with no block lines at the nape. You will demonstrate clipper cutting with and without guards, or use a clipper with detachable blades. You will demonstrate the use of shear of a comb. You will demonstrate fingers and shear cutting. You will be expected to complete the blend of the haircut. You will also be expected to shave both sides of the neck with a straight razor. You will cut at least a half an inch of hair throughout the haircut. You will be expected to complete and blend the haircut. You will also be expected to shave both sides of the neck with a straight razor. You will cut at least half an inch throughout the haircut. Do not remove your hair clippings from your work area until you're instructed individually by the examiner to do so. You will have 40 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 20 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Hair cutting supplies are labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Performs scalp analysis. Demonstrates safe use of clippers and comb without guard or detachable blades. Demonstrates safe use of clippers with guard or detachable blade. Demonstrates safe use of comb and shears. Establish an outline around the ears. Shaves sides of neck using straight razor, including reverse backhand stroke, using all proper neck shave procedures. Meaning on that part, you would lather and do what you would do in the shaving setting on that backside to finish out that haircut. Which visually we always see people line and clean up the front line, but you're supposed to do that to the back too.
With the razor?
With the razor, if they can take a razor, because everybody can't.
I can't.
Correct. And that's the importance of consultation, but you're not being graded on consultation. Proctor. Verbal instructions. Read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they have completed the section before the time has lapsed. All candidates have indicated that they have completed this section of the examination. Please do nothing until the next verbal instructions are given. Proctor. Verbal instructions. Read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Please do nothing until next verbal instructions are given. Examiner. Verbal instructions read to each candidate individually. May I please use your comb to check the haircut? So they are asking for your comb to check your work. Do not talk to them. Do not nothing. Have a nice little pass them the comb. Make sure your body language is pleasant. They're checking sideburns, uniform in length, haircut blend without a weight line, at least a half an inch is cut throughout. Examiner verbal instructions read to each candidate individually after final appearance of haircut has been examined. Please clean up your hair at this time. You will break down your work area and dispose of supplies used in the previous section of this examination. Upon completion, please do nothing until next instructions are given. They're checking that you maintain the drape throughout the sectioning. That your drape stayed on. Removes hair from work area. Place items to be disinfected. Soil, linen, and trash in the correct containers. That's all they checking for. In the event your drape fall or something happens, sanitize it. Get this wipe your drape down wipe it off, re-drape it. Sanitize your hands and proceed wherever you're at. Verbal instructions read to candidates when all examiners have indicated they've completed their assessment. All examiners have indicated they are ready to proceed. Then they'll get ready to give the next instructions. Meaning what your exam should look like is you just finished this haircut and this mannequin is draped and your area is now clean. He draped, no hair is nowhere on them, ear, nothing, none of that stuff barbers do. Be sending your clients out the door with hair on them, all that stuff, get rid of it, get it gone, however you need to do it. Your work area, tools, everything shifted and moved to where it need to go, because the haircut is done. Typically, when we bag up, you'll have 2 razors, like I saw you have anyway, because clear that whole section. That second razor will be in your shaving stuff anyway. That's normally how we set. That way you ain't trying to remember what you keep and what you ain't. We clearing, boom, boom, boom. It's set. You're there. Next section, work area and new client preparation, setup of supplies. Work area and new client preparation, setup of supplies is 10 minutes. A setup should take 10 minutes or really less once you've mastered your setup. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will prepare your work area for a new client. You will set up the universal supplies you will use for the remainder of the examination. You will prepare your client for a shave. They're reading it, but your mind is knowing, now I'm going to take this cape off and put this thing in soiled linen. Before I touch my client, I'm going to sanitize my hands. So you're not touching anything, but you're listening, because they're going to read it 2 times. But that's what you should visualize your setup looking. You're going to prepare your client for the shave, but this is key. It said you will set up the universal supplies you will use for the remainder of this examination. The rest of the exam. You setting up everything. You bringing it out. You will be expected to follow client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will prepare your work area for a new client. You will set up the universal supplies you will use for the remainder of the examination. You will prepare your client for the shave. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you've been instructed to begin. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Disinfects all work area completed with the product labeled in English as an EPA registered disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal. Sanitize hands with the product and the manufacturer labeled in English. Place items to be disinfected, soil, linen, and trash in the correct containers through section. Proctor verbal instruction. Read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they've completed this section before the time has lapsed. All candidates have indicated that they've completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Section 4. Shaving with a straight razor. Shaving with a straight razor, variable timing. That means it's untimed. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will prepare to perform shaving with a straight razor. You will prepare the model's face with lathering and steam. Do not remove the steam towel until instructed to do so by the examiner. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given. You will be instructed to begin, step back, to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will prepare to perform shaving with a straight razor. You will prepare a model's face by lathering and steaming. Do not remove the steam towel until instructed to do so by the examiner. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until the verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks: sets up implements that are visibly clean, demonstrates proper draping and client preparation, lathers beard and mustache area, steam towel is applied. That's all they're checking for. You done set up them implements, they clean, you done properly drape that client, lather, beard, and mustache, steam towel applied. Proctor, and this is the bearded area. Mustache, that's all they checking. Don't make more work than you got to for yourself. Proctor, verbal instructions read of all candidates step back to indicate they have completed the sections before the time has lapsed. All candidates have indicated they have completed this section of the examination. Please do nothing until verbal instructions are given. Proctor, verbal instructions read if timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Please do nothing until next instructions are given. Proctor, verbal instructions read of all candidates read to all candidates after all candidates have stepped back and indicated they have completed their preparation. You will perform shaving with a straight razor. You will be expected to follow the client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will be instructed individually by the examiner when to remove the towel, re-lather, and begin shaving. This is an untimed section. Do not remove the steam towel or demonstrate any strokes until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. The instructions will be repeated. Even if you went blank, if you feel like you're going blank, sanitize your hands, zone in. They're going to read the instructions again. You will perform shaving with a straight razor. You'll be expected to follow client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will be instructed individually by the examiner when to remove the towel. Re-lather, you've already lathered. That means it's 2 lathers and a shave. Then begin the shave. This is untimed. You don't have to rush, but do not remove that towel to demonstrate any strokes until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Don't lose no points not listening. They're telling you exactly what you about to do, how they want it done. That's it. Examiner verbal instructions read to each candidate individually. Please remove the steam towel. Re-lather. Demonstrate shaving strokes in areas 1, 3, 11, 2, 13, 14. They don't put new areas.
I think it was different.
It was one side of the face. They done switched it up. They want to know if you know the strokes. Okay. When you remove that steam towel, where do that towel go?
Items to be disinfected.
No.
Soil linen, I mean.
Exactly. Once you put that steam towel in the soil linen, what do you need to do next?
Disinfect.
Disinfect what?
Your hands.
Which is sanitizing. Sanitize your hands. Sanitation and disinfection, they're 2 different things.
Gotcha.
So I'm intentionally saying that
Right.
as your educator for tonight.
Right.
You disinfect your hand, then what you about to do? According to these instructions.
Um, get your implement.
Nope. Where we at? We are on step 4, shaving with a straight razor. So
After you.
just took the towel. Imagine we right there where we at.
Okay,
You just
and
took
put
the towel.
so you relather.
Relather. All right. Where am I? Lost my spot. We relather. Where I'm at for. Oh, there we go. Yes, you relather. So what I did just now, it's a call and response. I just want to get you in the feel of where you at, what you need to be doing. When you relather, then you will demonstrate the shaving strokes. But before you get to demonstrating, you got to know when I remove the steam towel, I need to put it in the right container, bag. I need to sanitize my hands, and I'm about to relather because they right here with me. So it ain't about them being right there with you, but they right there with you. But if you know what to do, it don't matter if they watching, standing over your shoulder, far back, whatever. Do your thing. Then you're going to demonstrate the strokes. So what they're checking for is demonstrate freehand stroke in area 1, area 3, and 11 safely. Demonstrates backhand stroke in area 2 safely. Demonstrates reverse freehand stroke in areas 13 and 14 safely. 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 Examiner verbal instructions read to each candidate individually after the shaving with a straight razor has been examined. Please do nothing until the next verbal instructions are given. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates after demonstrated strokes are evaluated. All examiners have indicated they are ready to proceed. Proctor's verbal instructions read to all candidates. Do not demonstrate any additional shaving strokes. You will perform the finishing steps of the service. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. Do not demonstrate any additional shaving strokes. You will perform the finishing steps of the service. You will be expected to follow all client protection and safety and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. They checking to see if you complete the shaving service. Maintain drape throughout section. Place items to be disinfected, soil and trash in the correct container throughout the section. Basically, you about to finish that shaving the best way you can, the safest way you can, so you can be done with that section. Do not rush yourself, but you are given 5 minutes to finish this because the untimed part was the other part before that y'all just passed. All right. Once everybody is done, because ain't no telling where you gonna finish at in that situation. That's why you want to just be sanitizing, because you get restless. You're gonna do stuff. Be sanitizing so you're not losing points in the meantime, between time. A lot of people don't like to be the last one, but it ain't about being the first one, because it's a lot of time, and in that time you can lose points from being unsanitary. They checking for those 3 things. Proctor verbal instructions. Read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they've completed the section before time has lapsed. All candidates have indicated they've completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Moving on to section 5, core domain, blood exposure procedure. The blood exposure procedure is 10 minutes. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will demonstrate the blood exposure procedure. You will imagine The following scenario. During a service, you have sustained a minor cut to your index finger. Where's your index finger?
No, that's my middle.
Yes, your pointer finger is your index finger because this is your middle finger. This is your ring finger. This is your pinky. This is your thumb. So this is your index finger. The scenario is you have sustained a minor cut to your index finger. The injury is such that you can continue the service. So it's not like your finger falling off, hanging, or any of those things. Your work area or the client has not been contaminated. So they're not focused on you trying to clean none of that or them. You are expected to demonstrate the proper procedure for blood exposure. You'll be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will demonstrate the blood exposure procedure. You will imagine, using your imagination, the following scenario. During the service, you have sustained a minor cut on your index finger. It don't specify which finger. Me personally, I'm actually a left-handed instructor, but I was trained right-handed, so I just go for what I know in testing environments because it's like I'm ambidextrous at this point. You will imagine that you sustain a minor cut to your index finger. The injury is such that you can continue with service. Your work area or client has not been contaminated. You are expected to demonstrate the proper procedure for the blood exposure. You will be expected to follow the client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. What I will say, that material should already be on your station. In the event that it's not, you go into your dry storage, you pull it out. Because in the last one, it said pull out everything that you need for the rest of the examination. But in the event that you did not do that, your dry storage, just as stated when we began reading the outline, you can go in it at any time. You just cannot, you can take things out. You can't put things back into that storage. But this blood exposure stuff should be in a Ziploc bag, already on your station, neatly waiting for you to get to it. And the same would go if you had that up, but you didn't want the chemical and the other stuff to be out. Like, cause some people are real just iffy, like OCD-ish. So whatever works for you, some people gonna pull it all out. Some people will be like, I'm still doing it the way I want to do it. It is what it is. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tests. Blood exposure supplies are labeled in English. Removes material from the first aid kit. Supplies and materials are visibly clean. Cleans the injured area with antiseptic. Covers with the dressing that absorbs and secure. Candidates wear a glove or a finger guard. You're going to wear a glove. You're going to put a glove on and then you'll move on along. Dispose of all contaminated supplies. That's what they're grading you on. 7 things. Proctor verbal instructions. Read if all candidates have stepped back and indicated they've completed this section before the timer has lapsed. All candidates have indicated they have completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor verbal instructions. Read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Permanent waiving. Proctor. Oh, okay. Please stop working. All right. Section 6. Permanent waiving. This is for those that are doing master hair care. That's where you're going in master hair care. I advise anybody to go in and get the master hair care, not just the registered barber. Why? Because for the state of South Carolina, both have to have 1,500 hours. Why? Why not just get the master? Okay. And I got my OJT training under a master barber who was a male. And if he would have not been a master, then I didn't want to just be a barber because I was already a hair braider. You see what I'm saying? So that's future goal. You don't never know who gonna want to come under you, train or whatever. Have the license that can help the next person get what they trying to get. Permanent waiving. Proctor. Verbal instructions. Read what all examiners have indicated that they are ready to proceed. You will break down your work area and dispose of supplies used in previous sections of the examination. You will set up supplies. So, yes, that blood exposure could have been out. Hold off on permanent waiving. because this is what they telling you about to clear everything else before you get to that section, and now you about to do a new setup. You will set up supplies for the following section of the examination: chemical waving, predisposition, and strand test chemical relaxer. Virgin application color. Retouch application. Hold on, virgin application. Hair color, retouch application. You'll be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete your setup. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Like I said, it's 3 setups basically. Do not demonstrate any procedures until verbal instructions are given and you're instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will break down your work area and dispose of all supplies from previous sections of the examination. You will set up supplies for the following section of the examination: chemical waving, predisposition test, and strand test chemical relaxer, virgin application, hair color, retouch application. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete your setup. You'll be informed you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedures until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Permanent waving, 15 minutes. Proctor, verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will perform a scalp analysis. What is a scalp analysis? Checking the scalp. Making sure that you can proceed with this chemical service.
And do you do it for all parts?
I would say it wouldn't hurt, but this is specific instructions that they're going to read out loud, period, to let you know you're going to perform that going into this chemical. This section is chemical, so yes, the answer is yes. So you just, if you find any open sores, anything, that's why you're doing this, because you can't proceed. If they got open sores, wounds, and all kind of stuff, you cannot get a chemical service today. This has to heal. So it's important that we're doing these scalp analysis like we're supposed to. You prepare your client for the service. For services, you will wrap 6 rods starting at the crown, working downward towards the neck. The crown of the head is up in here, the horseshoe. 6 rods here, going down towards the nape. You must either on base or half off base place all rods. Once you finish, wrapping, please step back and do nothing until next verbal instructions are given. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed you have 8 minutes remaining. Do not perform saturation procedure, a test curl, or remove a rod until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Do you have saturation over there? That's the waving solution. Yes, awesome. Good. Good job. Please, step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will perform a scalp analysis and permanent waving. You will prepare your client for services. You will wrap 6 rods starting at the crown, working down towards the nape. You will use either on or half off base placement for all rods. Once you are finished wrapping, please step back and do nothing until the next verbal instructions are given. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Do not perform the saturation test. Do not perform the saturation procedure, a test curl, or remove the rod until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Do not remove remaining rods until you are instructed to do so. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Permanent waving supplies are labeled in English. When you are doing your permanent waving, you spraying water. Can't roll dry hair. Can't roll it. It's not going to roll. Okay. The water is a universal supply that will remain, and it's also a universal solvent. You're going to wet the hair, because if they was getting this chemical wave, their hair would have already been coming out of the bowl. You know, for purposes, I would use Jerry Curl, Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, them back in the day, whatever. We're just changing the curl pattern. That's what a wave is. So even if it's on a Caucasian person, if they're typically straight, they want curly hair. That product still got to be rinsed out. So that means the hair is in a damp state when you're preparing to roll it. All right. So candidates evaluate on the following tasks. Permanent wave supplies are labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Performs the scalp analysis. Subsection the hair for the permanent wave, the way that it was stated that they want you to roll it. Wraps hair. Correct rod placement throughout the entire section. Typically, that's barber's weakest. This where it get kind of weak. We'll focus on that. I'll show you how to place your rod. Do your section. It's according to the size of the rod, what you use and stuff like that. Because that's what they're checking for. They want to make sure you don't got a bunch of hair and it don't match the rod. Proctor verbal instructions. Read if timer go off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Do nothing until the next verbal instructions are given. Examine the verbal instructions read to each candidate individually. Please demonstrate saturation. Demonstrate saturation. Examine the verbal instructions read to each candidate individually. Please demonstrate a test curl. So demonstrating saturation is saturating the curl. The hair is already wet. You already done roll it. You're waiting for them to come to you, like in the other sections. Demonstrate saturation. That's just putting a little line across there. Right where you at. It don't matter if you don't put 6 in there. It don't matter if it's 2, 3. You do what them people tell you to do. Way they're telling you to do it. Then they will tell you to demonstrate a test curl. You're going to roll it forward, which we'll go over all that. Get you some videos. Roll it forward, test it. And you about to see if that is, they checking for the pattern. To see if it done set in. Demonstrate test curls. Examiner instructions read to each candidate individually. They'll tell you, please remove the rod from the hair. Do not open it and just pull it straight down. It's like a demonstration that you'll do. And it should loop. Like have its own curl, the shape of that rod. A S. Examine the verbal instructions once rod is removed from hair. Read individually to candidate. Do not remove the remaining rods until instructed. All they was telling you to focus on that one rod that you done saturated, that you done did the test curl on, and that you done removed. Don't go no way else until they tell you to. When proctor verbal instructions read to all examiners. No, read when all examiners have indicated they are ready to proceed. All examiners have indicated they are ready to proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will remove all remaining rods from the head and create 4 quadrant sections for the remaining chemical services. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed we have 2 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will remove all the remaining rods from the head and create 4 quadrant sections. For the remaining chemical services, you will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete the section. You'll be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Please step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. I wouldn't have said that the second time. I would have just said you may begin. Sorry, they wouldn't have said that. Maintain drapes throughout section. It's already draped in the chemical. So all you're doing is removing those rods, combing that hair out, sectioning in 4. Down the middle, ear to ear. Clip, 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 clip. 4 sections. Simple. Place items to be disinfected, soil linen, trash in a correct container. They're checking for the 2 things. What's happening right here, as instructed, you're removing the rods. Where do the rods go?
Rods go on items to be disinfected.
Correct.
The
Paper wraps.
go on the trash.
Trash. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. Read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they have completed the section before the time has elapsed. All candidates have indicated they have completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Section 7, predisposition test, strand test with stimulated color product. Predisposition test and strand test with stimulated color product. 10 minutes. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will perform a predisposition test and strand test for a permanent hair color. You will demonstrate the predisposition test behind the ear. You will demonstrate a strand test on any single subsection of hair. There is no required wait time for the results. You will be expected to follow client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Please step back and to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will perform a predisposition test and a strand test for permanent hair color. You will demonstrate a predisposition test behind the ear. You will demonstrate the strand test on any subsection of the hair. There is no wait time for the results, so you can just act like, la, 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 la. Don't say it, but just act like that and continue on. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete the section. You will be informed we have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks: predisposition test and strand test. Supplies labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Demonstrate predisposition test behind the ear. Demonstrates strand test process. Maintains wet service drape throughout section. Places item to be disinfected, soil linens, and trash in correct container throughout section. Proctor verbal instructions read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they have completed this section before the timing has elapsed. Proctor verbal instructions read if the time has elapsed. All candidates have indicated they have completed this section of the examination. We will not proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read if the timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Section 8, chemical relaxer. Version application. Chemical relaxer version application is 15 minutes. Don't faint now. You almost at the end. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will perform a chemical hair relaxer. This is a no-base version relaxer. You will apply stimulated relaxer product to the back product on one back section of the hair. You got two back sections. Pick one. They just want to see you do it in the back. Not on the right side, not the left side. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will perform a chemical hair relaxer. Keep in mind this version. It is a no-base version application. You will apply stimulated relaxer product to the back section of the hair. You'll be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed you have 8 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Version hair relaxer supplies are labeled in English. We will use a container that's
like this.
Yeah, I normally like a little bigger one though. We could use that though. Let me see. Open it up. Okay. It's not colored. So if we stick with that, we'll just color it. Yeah. And let me see. Is it in there? So we'll clean this off and we'll use it. You can leave that tonight and then you can clean it at the next session, but I'm just letting you know, just making sure that it's clean. So when we get ready to pack it up, but we'll color it and we can use other actual products because we can just keep that ready for you, your actual test date. But we're gonna just color code it. I'm coming. Yeah. Virgin hair relaxer supplies are labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Subsection hair for relaxer application. Applies and smooths stimulated relaxer product. Meaning you'll go through, knowing how to apply it and smooth it. The thing with a virgin application, you start mid-shaft. We're not starting at the retouch at the root because it's virgin. If you start it at the root, then the hair is burnt before the other hair has time to break down. Okay? So applies and smooths it, maintains drape throughout section, places item to be disinfected, soil linen, and trash in correct container throughout section. Proud of verbal instructions read of all candidates have stepped back to indicate that they have completed the section before the timing is lapsed. All candidates have indicated that they've completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proud of verbal instructions read if the timer go off before candidates have stepped back, please stop working. And 9, section 9, hair coloring retouch application. Meaning they got their head colored.
Just hitting the roots.
Now we hitting the roots. Okay. Hair color retouch application is 10 minutes. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates. You will perform a hair color retouch application. The client has 1 inch of regrowth, new growth, whatever. 1 inch. We at the roots. We're not at the ends. We're not in the mid shaft. We're at the root of the head. You will apply stimulated hair color product to one section of the head. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You will perform a hair color retouch application. The client has 1 inch of regrowth. You will apply stimulated hair color product to one section of the head. You'll be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. Candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks. Hair color retouch supplies are labeled in English. Not Spanish, not Braille, not French, not Chinese, French, none of that. English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Subsection here for hair color retouch, which it should have already been properly subsection when they told you to put it in 4 quadrants. Apply stimulated hair color product. It's important that these colors are color coded because you're in the back of the head. One gonna be one color, the other one gonna be another color. Final results of hair color retouch. Application maintains drape throughout the section. Places items to be disinfected, soiled linen, and trash in correct containers throughout the section. Proctor verbal instructions read if all candidates have stepped back to indicate they have completed the section before time has lapsed. All candidates have indicated they've completed this section of the examination. We will now proceed. Proctor verbal instructions read if timer goes off before all candidates have stepped back. Please stop working. Candidate, clean up, and final summary. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates at the conclusion of the examination. All examiners have indicated they've completed their assessment. Make sure that all kit supplies and disposable materials are taken with you. This concludes this practical examination. Thank you for your participation. Candidate cleans up and final summary. Proctor verbal instructions read to all candidates at the conclusion of the examination. All examiners have indicated that they've completed their assessment. Make sure that all kit, supplies, and disposable material are taken with you. This concludes this practical examination. Thank you for your participation. That is the examination. Suggested exam supplies. This is the suggested supply list, what I will drop in the chat. This list is suggested supplies for practical examination. Candidates are responsible for bringing all needed materials, even if not included on this list. Tools must be in good working order. Information related to labels and supplies. All supplies must be labeled in English. No other language can be presented unless the original manufacturer label is presented in English. No Tubi stuff, Timu, all that, just Chinese only. That's what they saying. They don't want that in there. If it ain't no English on it, don't bring nothing else in there. All other created labels must be English. Suggested supplies, applicator brushes. Applicator brushes and bowls or bottle applicators. Candidate supply kit to serve as a dry storage must be closable. This could have worked too, but most people do bags. That could have went in there, long as it can close. Clippers must be fully charged if cordless. Cloth towels, combs, containers labeled to be disinfected. Recommended a freestanding paper bag with a plastic liner. Container labeled soiled linen. Recommended freestanding bag. The only reason this bag is able to go in there and you don't need something covering it is because they recommend it, and it's their recommendation, it's their testing, so we do what they say. Recommended freestanding bag with plastic liner. All of those to be disinfected, soil, linen, trash, bag, liner, label. Cotton, end papers. Oh, this is important with the chemical waving. When those rods are put in to wrap it with the cotton. Some people forget that.
With the cotton, what you mean?
When you're doing the stimulating, so in the event, say if it was a whole head of permanent rods, that outline to make sure that the solution ain't dripping on.
Yeah, I got that in there.
Yes. EPA registered disinfectant wipes with manufacturer label demonstrates bactericidal, fungicidal, and virucidal properties must be used. Must be actual disinfectant wipes. Can't write that on there to say this is what it is. It got to be the real deal. Gloves, guards, detachable blades, hair brushes, hair clips or clamps, hand sanitizer with manufacturer label, must be the actual hand sanitizer, mannequin heads, and a table clamp or tripod, pre-marks or pre-sectioning of mannequins is not permitted. Neck strips, paper towels, permanent wave rods, protective capes, child size to be used for mannequins. Protective capes, child size to be used for mannequins. Protective cream, shaving cream, non-aerosol, shears, stimulated hair color product, stimulated relaxer product, stimulated waving lotion, water. Stimulated mean a mock, not the real thing. Skin cleanser. That's when you would use astringent, toner, alcohol, whatever. Spatulas. Steam towels. Razor with S in parentheses. That's why I just put more than one in there. Toner, talc, or moisturizer. National Intersection Council of State Boards of Cosmetology references is also listed. We typically, the standard right here, right now, as of 2026, they said My Lady Standard Barbering 7th edition.
Yeah, I still got it.
Anybody that has any they also using the 6th edition Pivot Point Fundamental Barbering. And again, anything that you feel like you're not gonna use, feel free to donate.
I got a nephew. I'm gonna give him some stuff too. He get OJT now.
Okay.
But he's actively cutting like every day.
Okay. Yep. Anything y'all want to donate, we accept all donations.
I got you.
So that has been the candidate bulletin read and demoed.
And I know like 3 things that I did wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that I know I did wrong. Because I didn't know that they had certain sections they wanted you to like, what was it said? They wanted you to do the, I knew the curl, you have to do that down the middle, but the rest I thought you could just do wherever. So I know I didn't do the, what was it, the relaxer. I don't think I did it at the bottom. I think I did it at the top.
Okay. And that's fine. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. That's important. So we'll go into a demo. I'm gonna get you to just grab your bag. If you want to toss a mannequin or 2 in there so it don't feel super empty. Grab your bag and then go back in the waiting area, and then I'm gonna welcome you in like if you coming into the exam. All right, so anybody, this has been the CIB. I'm just wrapping up this and I'm gonna drop this live in there. CIB candidate bulletin reading. If y'all know anyone that wants to enroll or need help with state board prep, share.